Hello all, welcome to the Legend of Gaming podcast. My name is Matt.
And you have Cliff.
Our goal is to have open conversations about the games that we love and why we love them. Even more importantly, build a community where we can all share those games together and experiences with each other. From the fantastic stories being told in the games, to the breathtaking world you're exploring, or just a quirky game to entertain you and pass the time. On the Legend of Gaming podcast, we are going to join you along your gaming journey, and in those dire times of need, we will use our knowledge and skill to guide you to your next milestone. With that being said, let's jump into these games with the people who love them most. Today's episode, we're focused on completionism and trophy hunting. So, Cliff.
Yeah, talk to him.
You and I have very similar joy in completing games and trophy hunting. What's the Cliff lore for the origin of you being a completionist, a trophy hunter?
It really started with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That was a very interesting game. It was a fully blown out Rome. It was I think the biggest area I've ever explored, closest to GTA, one of those games. So it really became a really fun thing. And at that time, I had a really close friend. His name's JB. He was actually playing the exact same game. It became a challenge. We egged each other on to see who can finish it first. Luckily, I think he actually finished that one slightly faster than me. So it became a ongoing rivalry just to kind of go against each other.
Which Assassin's Creed?
Brotherhood.
Okay, I did too.
You did too?
I did Assassin's Creed 2. I think that was maybe the third or fourth Xbox 360 game that was let me plat this. Let me not platinum it because it wasn't plats, right? It was the 1,000 achievement points.
Okay.
But I remember I tried Assassin's Creed 1 and it got really tedious with flags. There was flags throughout the whole game. There was 300 of them.
Yes.
That deterred me. But Assassin's Creed 2, I remember that they had added the ability to take weapons from people. And there was achievements for disarming people and using. So that was kind of the extra element for me. Where GTA, to your point, it's this big map, but there's so much to do. You can go fucking have sex with a prostitute. You could, go steal a car. You could do all these things. But I think it was you had options. When I played Assassin's Creed 1, I loved the game. Mm-hmm. I love medieval times, right? That medieval, let's get daggers. And I was just really deterred by the size of the game. And I felt like I was just go search for these 300 flags. It didn't really matter. Yes. And I think Assassin's Creed 2 added in the layer of different towns too. I felt like it was more spread out.
Right.
So I don't know. I haven't played any more of Assassin's Creed, so that's where I'm intrigued. I'm what made this be the one that you're okay, I gotta platinum it, other than JB?
Well, crazy enough, when it comes down to it, I think the tie-in to the history, because Assassin's Creed does a really cool thing where they kind of take what's already been written, they give it a slight change of history, and they throw in assassins and templars. So as you're playing, you're actually learning, which is a very interesting concept to have it where it keeps your interest as well.
Is it real world accurate, or is it
some of it is. Some of it's very very accurate to the T. It's actually historical facts, but they'll switch out things of let's say a certain king dies. Instead of it being a certain king dies, it was a certain king was assassinated.
Okay, so it's very linear with that.
Yeah, it's very, and they'll throw in different things kind of to jump up just a little bit, because this one always throws me for a funny one. They had it where George Washington was a Templar.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so I knew Assassin's Creed was back old school, 1, 2. Did they do a Japan one?
No, but right now they are working on one.
So where are we at in the timeline then?
The timeline is very interesting because it kind of jumps around. And I want to say the one thing that makes Assassin's Creed really great, but sometimes the storyline is a little bit hard to follow, is that they had a main character on the outside. I don't know if you remember him, Desmond.
Yes, outside of the kind of correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
kind of the Matrix.
Yes.
Desmond was outside the Matrix, and then whenever he would log in, he was Ezio, or he was
taking that blue pill.
Okay.
Yes. Potentially the interesting part about it is that at some point Desmond passes away. Small spoiler.
But I mean, the game's been out for 15
it's been
years.
out for a long time.
in context of like, is that part of the storyline of the game, or is it between games? Like, is this something that you play through and he has his whatever his end is, and then you get to pick up someone else, or is it like
Well, I think that's the part where it kind of broke off, is because you had a main character outside of all these historical things you're going to. But now the moment he passed, they didn't really give a name to the person that you're playing. So it became a little more elusive. And I think that's where they kind of lost the story a little bit.
Okay. I mean, I can understand that, but that's something that comes with modern day games, I feel like. You have so much depth, we have so much expectation. Let's pause here. What was the first game you ever completed? We're talking about Assassin's Creed, and I love that, you have JB.
Yeah.
You got me into trophy hunting.
Yes, and I love that you're doing it too.
You've,
this last year you had 14 platinums?
14 or 15. I actually got 3 this month. I got Marvel Rivals, I got Coffee Talk, and I did one other one that I can't remember right now.
I gotta get Rivals.
But I'll be really candid. Like, I think you got me into it with the challenges and, being able to set goals for yourself, but we're a little bit older. A little bit older gamers, right? Like, I'm in my mid-30s. I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
29.
So look, you were both in that age group, right? What was the first game you completed? Because when we started gaming, there wasn't trophies or achievements, and that's why I did make it trophy hunting and completionism, because this started for me in 64.
Really?
Unintentionally. I know that sounds weird. Like, how do you unintentionally become a game completionist? There wasn't saves.
That is true.
So Star Fox 64 was the first game I ever got purchased for me, and there wasn't a save, and I didn't have a save pack. So I had to sit with my dad for 3 hours and beat the game from beginning to end, or we just restart the next day, and you didn't get to really experience the whole thing.
I would have to say the closest thing to that would probably be, I think it would be Modern Warfare.
Okay.
It's actually interesting. I mean,
Tell me.
When it comes into like, Modern Warfare was probably the game. My brother got me into it. First Call of Duty game I played. I've always seen him play like World War II, stuff like that, but Modern Warfare, the first one, was definitely the one.
First person shooter? Or is that just like, outside of GoldenEye, we're not going to count
actually, the very first one.
Okay.
I would say like probably the first one truly completing. There's definitely games I played.
I was a Halo junkie. That's always why it's, for Halo 3.
Oh man.
Super
Halo
competitive.
3 was that was a pinnacle point.
That was, and I think I have that in here as one of my main lines in the middle. I'm shocked that you hit Modern Warfare. I wanted to put Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And I took it off of my list because I just thought, I didn't 100% it.
Right.
But I will give an honorable mention to Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
Actually, no, Modern Warfare 1, the epilogue, when you're on the plane.
On the plane.
Is the hardest trophy I've ever gotten. Like, the hardest achievement in my life.
That was immensely tough.
Veteran, throwing flashbangs, 28 seconds. Take me 50 tries to get to the guy at the end, and I'd shoot him in the face on accident, the hostage, and not the actual guy. I remember it, and I sat all night. It took me, I think 20 hours straight.
It's immensely tough. And to think about that, it's not a multiple different ways you're going. You're on a plane. You're stuck. It's close quarters. So for it to be that tough, they made it very deliberately if you wanted a challenge. Because you didn't really need to go through with it.
You didn't. No, it's self-torture. It's
exactly.
a campaign. But that's really why I'm so shocked that you said Modern Warfare. I didn't know you were such like a multiplayer fan. I feel like that's where multiplayer became, not that it wasn't mainstream, because there's games before that people played online. Right. But I really felt that Modern Warfare, when I played it for the first time, again, I was a Halo fan. Big Halo 2, Halo 3. I felt like I couldn't see people on the game.
Like you couldn't see that you were playing against another person?
No, I had played so many games where you stick out like a sore thumb, right? You play Halo, you're a big green, yellow, orange, blue Spartan in a sparsely decorated world. It's beautiful looking, the landscape, but there's not brush and trees, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not environmental things.
Yeah.
When I got to Call of Duty 4, it was at the very end of its life cycle.
Okay.
Modern Warfare, right? And I was getting destroyed. I'd play online, and I'm like, I'm so good at Halo, and I would just get cooked. Whether it was noob tubes, whether it was people just blending in because I wasn't used to that type of game.
Yeah.
That when World at War came out, I really dedicated myself to playing multiplayer because everyone liked it so much, and I was so bad that I wanted to, see what the appeal was, and the appeal was it's challenging.
Yes.
It takes skill to have good hand-eye coordination, to be able to spot people, to really react.
Yeah.
But also they added zombies. Oh my god.
Zombies, absolutely.
The game crack came. I remember playing that game and not knowing that zombies was there because it wasn't advertised.
No.
It was an epilogue thing, I believe. I'm pretty certain you played the game and after you beat it, you got to play zombies. But I just remember the first time I played zombies, that was the first game that there wasn't a goal for me that I actually enjoyed.
It was just survive.
Yeah.
That was it. That was your only goal.
So what brought you to it? It obviously wasn't zombies. It was just the multiplayer aspect.
It wasn't. It was actually. It's crazy because you mentioned the multiplayer, but it was actually the campaign.
Really?
Yes.
So tell me, like, what was the difference?
I think it was I've never lived the type of military life. I definitely have family on that side, but touching and seeing that type of view, it just really intrigued me. And that was one of the first games. I saw it, I looked up to my brother in the sense of it. And for what it became to me, I did fall into multiplayer, but then you see me later on, I fall out of it. I start going into more campaign, more single players, but I think playing that, it definitely, the story was the main thing. I mean, the multiplayer was fun, don't get me wrong. And I think the first time getting like kill streaks was like immense. There was only 3, which is absolutely hilarious. You look at how many we have now, and it's over the charts. But playing it, it really was the campaign. I mean, the first thing that you started off was you were coming in on a helicopter, coming in on like the ship, like you're, like I'm talking, it's
Wet Works.
Wet Works.
That,
yes.
I'll never forget it. I think it's
like
ingrained in my mind.
That one's ingrained. Like the way that you land on end, stuff like that. Like the moment you pull up that weapon, that felt intense. I knew the mission that I was doing was immensely important. Even though I know that it's not really happening, it felt immensely important.
I mean, no, you're taking me back. I actually kind of forgot about that campaign until you brought it up, and I remember the name popping up and being like, oh man, and then the red lights and the alarms, and like you felt a sense of gravity.
Yeah, you're like this isn't some search or rescue. This needs to get done because we're coming in when the storm's hitting.
Have you played Black Ops 6 campaign?
I haven't, and I know you played. I've seen you play like the zombies. I've seen you play the campaign. How is it?
I think it's maybe the best campaign they've had so far.
Really?
In playability, not in storyline, right? Like
okay.
Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2 really are hard to outdo No Russian.
Yeah. Oh man. No Russian.
Wet Works, that was such an iconic level.
No.
The ending of Modern Warfare 2, I think had and I won't even ruin that. We'll leave that spoiler for some, right? If you haven't beat it, beat it.
Please do.
But that's definitely one of the. I was shocked. I was shocked by the end.
Yeah.
Black Ops 6 has options.
Okay.
So if you're a stealthy person, you can be stealthy. If you're guns a-blazing, you go guns a-blazing, and there's rewards to each.
Okay.
Rather than just frivolous options. Like no, like if you do them, there are rewards that can change how it ends. And it doesn't change the storyline, but it changes how you interact with the game. And for a first-person shooter, I feel like that's a win.
No, that is.
Battlefield 3, I thought the big distinguishing factor between Battlefield and Modern Warfare back in the day for me, or Black Ops 1 really was more that time frame, was breakability. Like you could destroy the actual walls and you could make different paths and you could flank people that way. And again, I think that adds a layer of options. If you liked Black Ops and you liked Call of Duty's campaigns, I think Black Ops 6 campaign really will be something that you'd enjoy.
Really enjoyable?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have my favorite is definitely 1 and 2 for Black Ops. 1 is actually 1 for sure. 1 definitely is, I think, my favorite Call of Duty of all time.
I would agree.
Black Ops.
I would agree. Black Ops 1 had Kino der Toten, the Amazing Zombies map. I think when you look at elements, again, like we're talking about options, I think adding elements that I didn't expect. And we'll transition into another game after this with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for Black Ops 1, the menu. The menu. You are a guy strapped to a chair, and if you hit a certain button combination, you can get out of the chair in the menu, and you can interact.
It's
priceless.
that type of thinking. It's that type of thinking. I don't know if did you ever make custom games in Black Ops 1?
No, actually, I don't even think I know. Like, are you talking custom games like in Halo 3 where you made maps, or was it like a custom game, like a gun game or something?
Close, kind of in between, like a hybrid. So potentially there was a game. It was really popular. I don't know who originally made it. It was called Bigfoot.
Okay.
So potentially there is one character. They dress in a ghillie suit, and they kind of look like Bigfoot, which is absolutely hilarious. You could modify the health, and you could change the health of every character. So one team, you made it where the health was immensely large. It was just for Bigfoot, and then everyone else had guns, certain weapons, and knives. He only has a knife. It was kind of close to Michael Myers. So you would see him in man, I can't remember the name of the map, but it was a jungle map. And I'm telling you, that ghillie suit blends.
Wait, Black Ops 1?
Black Ops 1.
I think it was called Jungle.
Was it called Jungle?
The one where there's a village. There's a little village on each side.
It has a waterway
bridge.
that kind of comes
There's
right
a little
through.
bridge. Everyone's sniping. Little Aztec.
It's exactly that, and it's got like a little waterfall.
I think it was
too.
called Jungle. I'm pretty certain.
Well, fingers crossed. We think it's that one. We'll find out. That one you could blend. You can absolutely blend, and it became like slightly a horror game, slightly like you're playing Predator with aliens. It was immensely fun, and you never expect it into a Call of Duty game. It had so many, just like you were saying earlier, with so many different options. That was a game where it's like, oh, we're done with multiplayer. We're either doing zombies or we're playing Bigfoot.
You're really highlighting something that I feel has gotten overran with limited time events.
Yeah.
You know, people being able to be creative and bring their own flavor to games. Has always been something that's kept me around longer than I feel the life of the game should. Right. Fallout 4 is a great example. Love the game, but the community mods made it spectacular. I think what's interesting is some games like Bethesda, they highlight some of those creators and they make it harder for some creators. So that can build disdain in the community.
Right.
For Call of Duty, do they still have that game mode creation?
That's such a good question. I know we tried to replicate it in 2 and we weren't able to because they changed certain settings. That's why 1 will always be a favorite. But I don't know if the Black Ops 1 servers are still up.
It's just crazy because I think about limited time events. I'm not coming back to play Jingle Hells.
No.
I'm not coming back to, spin some gobblegums to get a special skin.
Right.
I will come back to play a game that I could bring 4 or 5 of my friends and we could just have a good time.
Right.
On a game that's 5-6 years old. Black Ops 6 isn't, but the principle is like, I think that's where a lot of these newer games with all these special events that are like FOMO. You know, they want you to miss that. Like, you know what? If you don't show up for this, you're never getting this again.
Yeah.
I think it's really being outplayed. I think it's being overplayed.
It actually this is something we'll definitely talk about later. I think that really ties into like season passes. Because season passes definitely make you feel as if you don't get this, that's it.
Well, and I mean, what we're talking about here is completionism and trophy hunting, right? I think that's trying to appeal to those completionists. You want every skin, you want all these things, but where you've lost me is the reward is the thing itself. Right? The skin, this pickaxe, this whatever. I don't care about that because once the game's done, I don't get to show that off. Trophies, once I'm done with the game, that still sticks with my name.
That's true.
And titles, those things are things that I've really loved. I'll be really candid. I miss Xbox Live's reward system for achievements where they'd give you clothes for your avatar.
That's awesome.
Dude.
That's
awesome. I think it's an understatement. That was my favorite. That was the motivator. And this isn't a lot. I had 28,000 gamer score on Xbox, and I haven't played in 13 years. I think the driving factor for that was I played Halo and I played Assassin's Creed 2. I played Fallout 3. I played Fallout 4. But I look at the appeal that came to me from being able to have little special things for my avatar.
Yeah.
I would like that back.
It's nice.
I would like that back. Now, I mentioned earlier we were going to transition. We were talking about, options. We were talking about the reward of options. Have you ever played an Elder Scrolls game?
No, I haven't. There was a time I was right on the edge of joining. There was.
Oblivion was that game for me.
Okay.
You're talking about that Modern Warfare. You're just like into it. I've always been someone who's liked Lord of the Rings. I've liked Harry Potter. I've liked magic.
Okay, nice.
I like battles. I like that ancient like Viking stuff. Oblivion was the first game that I had sat down and played.
Okay.
Where I felt I had options. I felt that I was in control. I felt like I really was the character. I spent probably 300, 400 hours in Oblivion.
Nice.
First game I completed beyond once. Like, a lot of games I'll get 100% and then delete.
And then that's kind of...
I play that game 3-4 times back to back to back.
That's a good game. If you can immediately jump back into it and you still feel that appeal to it, that's a good game.
You've never played it? Never dipped the toe in? Skyrim? Any of them?
I've played Skyrim for a few hours. I didn't I think I wasn't at the point of RPGs when I touched Skyrim, and I wish I was because I know how good of a game that is. I would probably go back, to be honest with you.
We could do that. We could revisit that. That's a platinum for this year for me.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I think if I found that one maybe like a year or two later, I probably would have went all the way through with it.
I know you're an RPG guy.
Yes, so, now I am, for sure.
What was that RPG? Oblivion was the one for me, and I mean and when I mean addicted, dropped every game. I was playing Unreal Tournament at the time. I was playing other games. I was playing, I think, maybe Halo 2 at the time.
Halo 2?
And I stopped completely and just dived into Oblivion.
I'm almost positive mine has to be Assassin's Creed because it's the one series that I have actually followed through almost all the way to the end. Right now, I think I have every single one platinum, except for the very last one. That's it.
Are you gonna complete it?
Yeah.
Is that in the?
It's for sure. Absolutely, have to have the whole set. But I think it really probably is just Assassin's Creed franchise. The way that they kind of blend in history and make it seem as if there's a secret world out there that wasn't told to people and it's all cover up. It's a cool concept. And it's a concept you can always keep playing with because history is always being made.
I love that. Now we've come back to Assassin's Creed twice now.
Yes, we have.
I need the Cliff approved. What's the first Assassin's Creed? I'm gonna jump into the series.
Okay.
You got one shot to get me hooked. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm a completionist, but I need to play one of them, and that one needs to be good enough that I'm willing.
Ooh, there's two options.
Okay.
I see two options. My favorite, hands down, is probably going. It's probably gonna be Assassin's Creed 3.
Okay.
You are a Native American. Your father was a Templar.
Okay.
He, if I remember correctly, he wasn't allowed to take you. Left you with your mother. The Templars are moving and expanding, colonizing, and they actually wind up burning down your mother's village.
Okay.
Really intense.
Okay.
Really intense.
So that's like an emotional burn.
Immediately.
And we're Americans, so yes. I think it's like a double
It's
we know it's very close to home.
Very close to home. So for the idea that your father's own people destroyed your mother's land, and now you're left wondering what to do, and then you wind up finding a assassin. That's where it starts off. It is immensely good. Because there's moments where you run back into your father.
Wait, hold on. You're hyping this one up a lot. You said there's two. I'm scared for what the other one is.
The other one is actually Origins. I was crazy enough, and I'm not gonna lie, most of them I rate almost all of the Assassin's Creed. I might be biased. This is true.
I'm gonna say you're biased, but it's also okay to have bias.
It's okay. This one I'm probably gonna be biased towards. I think aside from a few games having some technical difficulties, most of the stories are above a 7.
I mean, that's great.
It's solid. It's very solid games.
So you're telling me 3 is the one to go to.
3 is probably the one. If you were like, okay, I don't want to go into the old ones. I don't want to go into Ezio's trilogy, which is the main. I want to say the one that really got a lot of people hooked.
And side note, I will say those games are great. The Assassin's Creed 1, 2.
Those are
I came out hard at the beginning. I was talking about it being monotonous. That's from a person who I want to complete every
Every
ounce that game offers, and it just is a lot to take in.
It is.
If you are going to play a game, to play it linearly,
Yeah.
to enjoy the story, to get exposure to something that's like akin to like a TV show, I think that all of them, the ones I've played, 1, 2, and 3, were all phenomenal.
Yes.
But I also can appreciate when you look through the scope, right? We're talking about trophy hunting.
Yes.
Maybe 3 is the spot where you're going to get a good medium of a good
3's
story.
a good medium. And to kind of get to, I didn't mention on your point earlier, and I think they're called bodega flags or something of the sort, but those flags are immensely annoying. I would say one thing that Assassin's Creed does a lot is definitely collectibles. And I think that's a tribute from the creator to just go see the world. They want you to see all the nook and crannies of everything they designed. I think that's really what it is.
Are there many glitches with those collectibles?
There's a few.
I will be candid. That's what turned me away from Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes, because I know your
the whole
situation.
game, and I just can't replay 70 hours for a glitch trophy.
That's immensely annoying. I would say the one that really had I think the most glitches out of all the Assassin's Creeds, it's probably Unity. I don't know if you heard of that one.
I have.
Yep. So Unity, when it first came out, there was glitches with like faces, items not showing up, a bunch of different things. That one, out of everything, had the most glitches. I didn't see there's like small glitches here and there, but nothing that was deterring me from playing the game.
Okay. And honestly, that's what I look for, like, through the scope of, like, normal consumer. I'm going to give a game to my wife, right? She's not there to collect every ounce of everything.
Right.
But if there's no major glitches that are, like, game-breaking,
Yes.
10 out of 10, right? Like, she's going to love it.
Absolutely.
For me, I don't even mind the glitches as long as there's a workaround. If I can look up something online and it's like, hey, you should watch out for this thing, maybe save your game, that's a doable. I think the ones that I have a hard time with are the Hogwarts Legacies. We put out patch notes, we fixed it, don't worry. And I'm like, I'm a little turned off by it. And I'm a little turned off by it, and I'll bring up Call of Duty one more time. They don't have trophies for PS5 versions of the games because it's connected to an online login. So if you buy the PS4 version, right, you can get a platinum.
Right.
Well, I didn't know that, and I downloaded the online version, got 100%, and I'm like, no! So, like, I think that we're in an era where, like, if you are a trophy hunter, you do have to be cognizant and sometimes look up, hey, is this game platinum? Like, is it able to be completed or platted? Or is there any game-breaking glitches? Fallout 4 had a couple. I managed them. Oh,
which ones were those?
Dance.
Because I got it platinum
I'll tell you
too.
right now.
Which ones were there?
Dance. There's when you are going with the Brotherhood of Steel for one of their trophies.
Okay.
You have to go meet up with this girl at their like base.
Yeah.
And it's so glitched because when you talk to her, she has to walk to another spot so you can talk to her again. And then like she tries to talk to all these people, and then like it's a legitimate problem.
Really?
You can look it up online. I have like 3 Reddit comments. One of the 3 comments is that never got fixed, and I like raged.
That's annoying.
But it's crazy because that game was so good to me. I managed it. I was like, I'll figure it out. Skyrim also got glitched, where when I'm doing a Daedric quest, there's a guy that I had a previous quest with, like a vampire quest.
Okay.
I didn't do the first quest, so he's stuck in the dialogue, and I can't do the Daedric quest for that trophy. I'm like level 46, and it was one of the last 2 trophies I have, so I have to restart the game. Right? Put it off for a year. I'll join it with you now.
Yeah.
But those are the things that, like, I wouldn't say that it turns me away from being someone who would promote the game.
Right.
But I would absolutely deter someone similar to me whose intention is like, I want 100% of this. You need to either follow this strategy, kind of ruin the game for yourself, and have a better method going in than going in blind and figuring it out.
Like, I could say probably the one that was immensely annoying, but I loved the game, was Watch Dogs. I don't know if you ever played that one.
Watch Dogs, if I recall, reminded me of GTA.
Yes.
From the look.
Yes.
And I think that was around the same time Infamous came out. So I was getting there were so many games that came out that was like, there's a GTA game, there was Infamous, there was Watch Dogs, there was Saints Row, there was
Saints Row.
I don't know if Driver still existed at that time, but Driver was a big game for a while. Oh, Driver was like GTA, but you just did car heists.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like that was an era where Watch Dogs probably was on my radar.
Yeah.
You're taking in 200, 300 hour monsters back to back to back, like,
Yeah, no, it's a lot. When they really put out like AAA, multiple coming out, this one was So the concept behind it was you're in Chicago. You are
Chi-town.
You wind up learning how to be like this immensely good hacker, where as you're walking down the street, you could see someone's annual salary, what they're texting.
Pause. Oh. Is it cyberpunk-esque? Like you're seeing it through like a cybernetic eye, or like you have technology that's like...
You have a very sophisticated phone, but your HUD is showing like almost like a visual hanging over people's heads. So
Tony Stark glasses.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually pretty spot on.
Tony Stark glasses mixed with Sims. Yes. You're talking about above their head. I'm like, all right.
And then give it like a little dark twist of a investigator video game.
Okay.
That was the type of game it was. It was really cool. I think the funniest parts were like changing like light streets, like green to red. There'd be like 5-6 cars, like cop cars chasing me. Change the light. There's explosions behind me. Great time.
How many hours do we sink into this? Like if I pick up Watch Dogs now, is it like a 50 hour?
I'm saying probably maybe like 60 hours. But here's where I would say not to pick it up. Is kind of going back to the whole glitches. There was a glitch where once you got really close to being max level, you just got no more experience. And you were stuck not getting one trophy. So I actually had to play the whole game over. That was a very tough decision just to get that one trophy. It was on the edge where I was like, man, I really like the game. It was really good, but this glitch isn't fixing itself anytime soon. This was a while ago. It was after at least a year or two. I went back looking at my trophies and I was like, I do want to get this one checked off the list. It was fun playing it again, but sometimes depending on the game, if it felt like a game that you're just gonna play once, you just want to kind of leave it there. So that was a tough decision. But if you were to play it, I would say play 2. You don't need to play 1 to understand 2, because it's actually different location and it's actually in Cali, which I think is absolutely hilarious. They did a great job on 2, because they kind of introduced as if they have mock-up versions of as if it's Google and like stuff like that. So they get really funny with like the tech that they do. Okay. Very interesting. But I would say if you did any, do 2.
I mean, no, I could definitely get behind that, because that to me sounds like a California version of what was the game that came out with it had the red zone and it was in New York, The Division.
Oh, I love The Division.
So, I think those are games that are very attractive. Mm-hmm. And yes, they play differently. Yes, they look different. That's not what the point I'm making. The principle though is like being able to play areas you may be familiar with.
Yeah.
In a fake setting, right? Spider-Man is amazing. You're playing in New York, love it, right? But
how was it, by the way? Quick
Spider-Man 1, 10 out of 10, loved it. Spider-Man Miles Morales, I actually like a little bit better than 1.
Okay.
Because I think that the fighting, choreography, the feel of being Miles, I feel like I'm Miles.
Yes.
Spider-Man 2, I just started. Toes are just dipped in the pond. The fact that you can swap between them is pretty phenomenal.
Yes. I love the cutscenes in between too.
The cutscenes in between.
Hilarious.
The fact that you have the Iron Spider arms, crazy.
Very nice.
I think that, I'm asking you about games to jump into to platinum, and I love that you bring up Assassin's Creed and you highlight Assassin's Creed 3. Spider-Man 1 was my first platinum trophy ever.
Is it really? That's
I was a game completionist.
Good starting point. I love that. It's a really good game.
It's easy. There's no glitches.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a little taste of annoying. You have to play the game again on New Game Plus to get one of the trophies.
Yeah.
Really easy to get, but you have to do it. I think Spider-Man 1 is a game that's for everyone.
Okay.
Everyone who is willing to play an action game, and you're a spider. Yeah. If you can get past those things, if you're not into superheroes or action games, the physics, the way that the sounds actually play through the DualShock controller are pretty amazing.
That is true.
And then on top of it, like, the storyline's really easy to follow. And I think that for me, I play a lot of multiplayer games. I get really frustrated and I get online and it's more agitation than fun. I had nothing but fun the whole time I played Spider-Man. And I think that kind of brought me back to those childhood moments where I'd play Super Mario 64, not for trophies, but I wanted every one of those stars.
Right.
I wanted to get to Yoshi on top of the castle, right?
Yeah.
I think that Spider-Man was that modern day game for me where I remember the fun of completing something to complete it, but also like as I'm playing along, I'm not going to capture flags just to capture them, right? Like I'm following the Prowler and I'm doing little things that make my character better, but on top of it, I'm completing the game.
You're feeling inspired by it.
Insomniac is really good about making games that capture you.
Yes.
They did a great job with Ghost of Tsushima.
That was let me just pause for a second. That is a immensely good game. Immensely good game. I platinumed it 2-3 months ago, and I can tell you the way they directed that story. It is and I think we talked a little bit about this previously. It's a perspective I never had, and I think it's a perspective that I like to see. So I mean, having it where there's a sense of tradition versus what you feel is right, and to have that battle through family and friends as you go along, it's very interesting. It's a perspective I've never actually had to directly witness. So to see the outcome on what you could choose and what you couldn't choose, I liked it a lot. It was a really good game.
I'm telling you, I'm learning more about you, Cliff. I think what you're highlighting here is what we just highlighted was amazing about Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
But the opposite side, right? Like, as an American, I can understand the hardships that Native Americans went through when we colonized and we, pushed them out of their land.
Exactly.
I cannot fathom what it's like to have honor, familial honor in feudal Japan.
Exactly.
But playing through it in this dialogue, like the way that it was set, and you had options, right?
Yeah.
But those options truly had consequences, and I think doing the right thing, it's really crazy because honor, pride, doing what's right for others is not, I feel, something that's highlighted in American games or in American culture. It's something that's so common to Japanese games where whether you're fighting for family pride or you're like a Yakuza, it is always an element that is so attractive to me.
Yes.
Like you have pride and honor and you have to put it on the line, and sometimes doing the right thing, you lose your honor or you might lose your pride.
It's such an interesting twist. It is, and I've never seen it in that light. And to take the game into a full scope, it even takes in taking what's the word I'm looking for? Relaxation and meditation. Out of all the games I've played, I don't think that one does it the best. I mean, you're writing haikus. You're taking spa baths as you're playing the game. Like, what game can you think of that has it where you're just meditating like that? It just shows you a different way of life.
No, I've never thought about it that way. It's true extremes. Like, you go from, I have to cut down this village of people because of XYZ reason. The moment you've done your job, you go and write a haiku, get in a bath, and you cut a couple bamboo sticks. But truly, I get that. It brings you to a zen state. Again, for me, I think that that's a lifestyle I couldn't fathom.
Neither could I, but you know what's weird about it? It seems as if both its extremes are balancing each other.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
and I think that's where the ending was really beautiful, with whatever you pick.
Yeah.
That's definitely for... no spoilers for Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes,
you need to play it.
Definitely go play it. Highly recommended.
There's also another one coming out.
Yes, there is. And not to say that I'm disappointed. I was expecting a storyline that would connect, but this is actually very far apart. I was hoping for it, but for how well they did the first one, I'm still excited.
You're like, I have faith.
I have faith. They're gonna do it right. And they'll probably have different moments where they mention what's happened in the past. But it should be about 200 years apart, which is a good distance.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I was hoping maybe 30, 40.
Honestly, though,
you're still alive.
Let's be really honest, though. Generational things. I mean, I watched One Piece. There's 1,000 chapters. There are little pebbles in a pond that make big waves in the future.
That is
so
true.
I totally
That's a
agree.
very nice concept.
I totally agree. But I feel that the ending was so major.
Yeah.
That it has to tie in. If they're in Japan,
yeah.
you're on an island.
Yeah.
Not being facetious, no matter how big the island is, it's still an island. There's only so much so far you can go where you can't escape it anymore. So I'm curious. Did you play the DLC?
I played the Ikra, I think it's spelled IKI DLC, where you go to the other island. Yeah, I don't think I know there's the Legends DLC for the multiplayer.
I didn't. I knew about the island only, and I'm gonna play it pre the sequel.
Okay.
Like whenever that other game's gonna come out a week before, I'll get on. I'll do the island.
Yes.
And then
the island's good.
Well, you didn't need it for the platinum, so
you didn't. No. And you know what's weird? And this has happened to me twice. If you have DLC unlocked already, it's already like either purchased or it came with the bundle, it's already in. Sometimes on the games there's no clear indication where the DLC starts. So I actually, while I was playing the game, I got it as a bundle.
You went to the DLC on accident?
I came up, I was like, look at this side quest. This is gonna be great. But I saw a message and I ignored it. My fault. So they did give me a warning.
You're dialed in. You're dialed in. You're like, I gotta cut something.
Yeah,
I gotta write a haiku.
It's gotta happen. And it said like, oh, it'll be a while until you return. I thought this was a checkpoint to the next part. I'm like, I've hit like a good amount of stuff. I've hit some collectibles. I'm feeling good. I go and I'm on DLC territory, and I can't even go back. And the funny part is, if you go there and you're a little bit underleveled, you're already dealing with some problems. So it made it immensely challenging. It was fun because it threw me off on the story. Do you know what the DLC entails?
No, zero idea.
Small snippet where, just to give you like a bit of interest.
Give me the taste. What is it?
There is a concoction that someone is making that's making you hallucinate.
Okay.
And the hallucinations get immensely intense, where you're seeing like people you've passed wronged, people that you feel like you failed. And if you think about his history of how his father died on the battlefield, you think about what he's going through with his uncle, he starts hearing their voices. And it's pretty intense.
Okay.
It really ties into how we were talking about with the honor in like certain traditions. It really ties into it. And the weird thing is, on that island, his father actually, if I'm not mistaken, passed away on that island. So you actually see certain banners from like your father's old tribe there. I think tribe's the right word.
Clan?
Yeah, clan. That's a better word for sure. But yeah.
I'm gonna be really honest. Like those, again, Insomniac, 10 out of 10 games. So like
really
you already know I'm gonna pick that up right before. I have the DLC. I just haven't played it.
You'll like it. I thought it was good.
All right, we covered a lot of games.
We did.
I do have one more honorable mention section I want to get to before we close out. What's a game that you platinum that was just a fun game for you to jump into? And really, I think you kind of touched the elements whenever we were talking about Call of Duty, being able to make custom games. That would not be something that would attract you for that completionism, right? That's just attracting because of the fun. Helldivers 2 was such a phenomenal multiplayer experience for me.
Yeah.
The game itself, goofy, definitely has its bugs. It was difficult, right? I knew I was gonna die every game, so stepping in, I just had fun with my friends, blowing stuff up, trying to survive. But that trophy grind itself was like a little reward. It was crazy. It was like a little reward because I didn't start that game for the trophy. There's many games I start for the trophy.
Right.
Helldivers 2 on PlayStation.
Okay.
And Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 on Xbox are the two games that I 100%ed because I felt obligated, because I loved them so much.
Because of how much
I love the game so much that I feel like I needed to tell those developers in a way that would speak to them, right? I like this game so much I'll get every trophy. Helldivers 2, before it died, I was like, I was gung-ho. Left 4 Dead right now, and we could finish this podcast. I'll go load it up. Like, I love Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
And both of them. I think they both have their quirks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those were games that, like, Left 4 Dead 2 had multiplayer aspects, and I was like, yep, I'm getting on and fighting a zombie because I love that game so much.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's slightly a sad story because I know I don't have a platinum.
It's okay.
I know I don't have a platinum, but I can tell you right now, this is probably, it's one of those games that you can endlessly play, and it is always immensely fun. And to kind of give you a hint, I feel like Astrobot replaced it. It's Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet was a game of imagination. It truly is. And I tell you, the worlds that people made, it was PlayStation's version of Minecraft in a way.
Okay. I mean, I played it, so I totally agree.
In a way, it was its own version, and I can't tell you how hilariously fun that game was. I've had it where we've played, man, people have made complete worlds, whole different levels, completely better than the game itself sometimes. And the game itself was so challenging too. The platinums for that, the servers are shut down. So
you're like, don't even get your hopes up.
Yeah, the servers are shut down. It's a personal loss I'll always remember.
Actually, we're gonna put a note. We're gonna put a cliff note here, a Matt cliff note.
Okay.
If we can get 150 plus people that listen to this podcast that are looking for it, the reason for this is you have to make a custom world and 150 people have to like it. So it's not that it's unachievable.
Yes.
But we need a large group.
We do need a large group. Let's see if we can make it happen.
All right. Hey, we will. So Little Big Planet's that one.
Little Big Planet, because it's there was almost, especially probably Little Big Planet 2, the tools they put into it, there was almost no stopping of your imagination. And they even advertised it. The moment you start up, they make it seem as if, like, think bigger, think this, think that. And it's, it's the essence of playing video games. Tapping into your imagination.
I mean, yeah, I definitely don't play them to get angry. Unfortunately, I get angry, but that's where it's like you have to have those pillars of games that bring you joy. So
right, and even if you, I've played. What is it? If you go into it, something really cool that Little Big Planet did is that they had it where you had costumes from the other games that you could get. So, for example, you could get a Assassin's Creed costume in Little Big Planet, which is pretty cool.
I mean,
and then you have
you're like, hold on, I'm sold.
What? And then you see people making Assassin's Creed levels. Now I'm acting a fool all day long. So it's a really cool twist that the limitation is really your own imagination. And since you can tap into other people's communities, it was endless. It was so much fun. I'm talking party of 6, always, or it was like party of 4, always doing stuff. It was so much fun.
I think Fall Guys tried to capture a little bit of the element of fun with friends, and you can kind of have anything happen. But to your point, that creativity of like Minecraft, being able to build a world, or it just, I could see that. It's very unique, and I don't think since Sackboy, I always call him Sackboy, I don't think since Sackboy, I don't think I've played anything close to that. Astrobot is phenomenal.
I need to play it. I see it. Yeah, I know. I see it. It looks good.
Did you play the first one?
No. Oh. I think I played the room for a little bit.
You gotta play
the
both.
First one, like the very, very first one.
Please, this is a message to everyone. Astrobot Playroom and Astrobot the new game, they are not for kids. Okay. They are for game fanatics. They have so many.
Okay, I know the next one is the last one that came out, but you think the first one is as well?
Yeah, it just tributes to games that you'll be in there and you're like, I forgot that this character existed or this game.
That's awesome.
Jumping Flash. There's so many references to Jumping Flash, and that's like my wife's favorite game from when she was a kid, and it also gave me platinum. I was like, let me platinum it. I do have a few quick fire questions for you.
Yeah, shoot away.
What was the first platinum trophy?
The first one?
First platinum trophy ever on PlayStation.
Man, I don't think it... That's such a good question. What is that? That would be Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
Woo!
I love me some racing games. That's a whole other... Oh, man. Need for Speed... Have you played that one?
Need for Speed, dude. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. When you get chased by the cops.
Oh, my goodness. When you can start doing EMPs on the helicopters. And oh, my goodness. That was just immense fun. That was
first platinum, Need for Speed. Okay.
And
what is your proudest?
Spider-Man, right?
Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 1, baby. What's your proudest trophy?
Proudest? That's a really tough question. There's some games that have messed me up. I think I'll give you this. In indie games alone, I think my proudest one is because I think about this one a lot, is Titan Souls.
Okay.
Titan Souls, you get one bow, you get one arrow, you can summon the bow back to you. Everything you fight is a boss. Everything can hit you one kill. One kill hit, that's it. You don't have any health bars, no extra lives. You get hit once, you get sent back to the very beginning of the game. It feels very retro. Because retro games, they don't give you checkpoints. They don't give you a lot of checkpoints. Nope.
We talked about Star Fox. We talked about Star Fox.
Yeah, exactly.
You get off, you start over.
So that one was for an indie game, that was immensely tough, especially get platinum. They had it where you had to do all 21 bosses without dying. And the combinations that you had to perfect was a
got you ready for Elden Ring?
That was a tribute. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
You're like, this is the makings of an Elden Ring player.
Hey, oh man.
From software.
One of the developers sat down and did this one.
Okay. Do you have a AAA proudest?
AAA proudest?
Or any mainstream game?
Oh man. You know, it's tough to put a number on it because there's so many different games that there's different types of difficulty.
Absolutely. It could be time consuming. It could be, Marvel Rivals was a hard one for me because you have to land combos against people. You have to beat people.
That's true.
Overwatch. I have 82% of the trophies because they're against people and it's difficult. So like that opposed to The Witcher,
right?
Which you put 700 hours or whatever it was, something ludicrous. Like, I definitely think that there's differences in difficulties.
I think The Witcher actually kind of takes the cake. And not for the reason of the difficulty of it, because I had to restart it 3 times.
No, I totally understand. Red Dead Redemption 2 is my white whale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to play it. If I go with an indie game that I'm proud of beating, I don't know if it even counts as an indie game, Hot Shots Golf.
Oh, yeah.
We all know about it. That's a hard game to platinum. It is a hard game. You have to get a hole-in-one. You have to get, it's hard.
Really? Oh,
if we're talking about large games, I would want to say Fallout 4 is my proudest trophy. And the reason is I played 1,000 hours or 700 hours with mods.
Okay.
And never got a trophy because mods were on.
Oh,
so that was a game that after I'd already gotten past its whole life cycle and became a trophy hunter, I was like, let me go back and play that vanilla. And it was a drag. It was so hard. There's so many glitches. There's so much frustration. But again, it came back to that. I felt like I had played so many hours, enjoyed it so much, I felt obligated to have that platinum.
That's good.
All right, so we got those. What game brought you the closest to giving up trophy hunting?
Altogether?
It was just a stopping moment. I can tell you I had two moments. I played Fallout 4 and Skyrim back to back and both got glitched. So I went from trophy hunting one game, got 80% through, there was a glitch that happened, so I had to restart. Mm-hmm. I went to Skyrim, got to the very end, and it got glitched. And the amount of rage that was in my heart and my soul, it really took me about 6 months of not playing and just playing other games to get back to trophy hunting. On top of Hogwarts Legacy, that having 99% for collectibles, and I just can't pick up the one even though I know where it's at. That was a hard stop for me for a minute for trophy hunting.
Man, I think it's such a tough one because there's a few of them that really put me in a place where I was like, okay, I'm pretty done with this. I think the two that I'm tied for is one is called Enter the Gungeon.
Okay.
That one's an indie game. It's only 5 levels, but everything is randomized, and it's guns from every universe. I'm talking the miniature gun from Men in Black, the little cricket gun from, like a water gun, from everything. It's really funny. But it's a very intense indie game. That's one. The second one is probably Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I didn't think any Assassin's Creed would ever be on your list without being. Oh my god.
No, this one takes the cake. Valhalla is, I think, the longest game I've probably ever played.
Is the end of it a roguelite? I heard the end of it.
Yeah.
I heard you play the game.
Okay.
And I don't want to spoil this for anyone, so I'm sorry. I heard you get to Valhalla, and you can play through it over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
That's crazy. Okay.
It's funny because I'll keep it elusive so it doesn't spoil anything. You're there because you reached a certain goal, but it's not as you seem.
Okay.
It's one of those, like, you thought this is what you wanted, but it's not.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. I can understand that. So Valhalla's the...
Valhalla.
That's the Assassin's Creed.
Playing the game, beating the game, okay. Getting it platinum, that's a different beast. I don't think I've ever dealt with something where I've had to be so vigilant for a long time, because the map is just immense. It feels almost like a continent.
See, and that's good in some games, bad in some games. If I'm running, I don't want to do it. If I can fly a plane or teleport or fast travel,
you're taking Viking ships and you're doing raids. I can't tell you. I think I've done over a plus 100 raids, if I'm not mistaken.
And still no platinum.
Well, no, I have it platinum now, but
okay.
it took.
But you're saying
it took. I'm talking like very intense, whole like month and a half. I'm talking getting on every single day trying to get this platinum. I almost gave up. I almost just put it on the shelf. That was really tough.
I've told you I've had to for a couple, and a couple of them come back. This year will be the comeback year.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna knock out a couple of those monsters that I had to put to the side.
If for everyone listening, look up Valhalla Platinum. You're gonna see people just stressed.
Okay.
On YouTube. You just
Same thing as Red Dead Redemption 2, I feel. So that's where I'm gonna have to look it up and judge if it's as bad, because the Red Dead one has some miserable people. And I'm like, I don't want to be that miserable guy, but I kind of do.
That one, only if it wasn't in the series of Assassin's Creed, I wouldn't have done it. Okay. I would have quit on it 100%. So.
I mean, I can't really fight that. I think that we've really highlighted from front to back, right? There's nostalgic games that are going to get your attention. You're going to love them, and you're going to play them regardless of trophies or not.
Yeah.
That's going to be those Super Mario 64s for me.
For sure.
That's going to be, I'll be honest, Pac-Man. Like, I'm just playing Pac-Man to enjoy Pac-Man.
That's really good.
Fighting games. I really don't play fighting games to get trophies, because it's never really been a thing. I grew up, beting my uncle. Getting beat all the time. Or playing Smash Brothers, right?
So you'll never play like Injustice?
I would, but I don't think that that's a game I would come to for trophy hunting.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because I feel like the way trophies are set, it's probably going to be like win X amount of matches online or something, right?
And get a bunch of different combos.
That doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
Having to solve a crazy hard riddle and travel 3 hours and figure it out, like Red Dead Redemption 2, and solve a little puzzle for a guy's backstory, I can dedicate that time because I feel that I'm rewarded the whole time. I'm rewarded with a adventure.
Right.
Fighting games, shooting games, MOBAs are hard for me sometimes because the reward is winning.
Yeah.
I want the journey to be the win, and then the win on top of it's just like a cherry on top.
Yeah.
Obviously, the world of gaming has so many genres and categories that people love so dearly. What we talked about today is just a speck of what we enjoy about gaming. As we get together every week, we have so many more topics to uncover, possibly new interests to discover, and genres to explore. So let's get started on the next episode with the most popular genre, which is
first-person shooters.
To join the conversation, you can connect with us on our website or socials. The website is thelegendofgamingpodcast.com. The Legend of Gaming Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and X are our handles.
And until then, we're logging out. We'll see you next time.
See ya.